Up in the North Fork doing Brown Pass today. Yeah, this is a really cool hike. You start along the Bowman Lake trail and you just start working your way all the way up the valley past the entire length of the lake, and then head up into the high country and end up over at Brown Pass with the junction of Boulder Pass. So, the first 7 miles or so, and actually about the first 9 miles, is just kind of a walk in the trees right along the lake, so you can kind of see into the lake and everything. And as you get further along and closer to the Bowman Campground, you really start to it really starts to open up, and you start getting really cool looks at Rainbow Peak, which is really a fantastic looking peak there. So yeah, then you get to Bowman Campground, and Bowman Campground is just a really cool place. There's I think 5 campsites. It's a pretty busy one. Good even for just a day trip, and but if you're going to go ahead and nice launching point to go further. This year they've had to use it a little bit more because Brown Pass was closed because of an avalanche, and I'll talk more about that later. But as you start to work your way up the valley, you kind of go up and down, drop through a swamp, but then you start to see peaks a little bit more, and then all of a sudden they just start to really open up, and you kind of cross open into I think it's Pocket Creek, and boy, you realize you're just in a big cathedral, and it's awesome. You work your way there. We actually, right across Pocket Creek, we had trail crew working on putting in a new little bridge system, which looks pretty awesome, and good for those that might have had to ford it in the past. But then you start to get glimpses of your first big waterfall, and I don't know if I have to tell you this or not, but that's awesome. And then, man, you just start climbing up, and the one thing that separates the North Fork from a lot of the stuff on the east side is, as you start to climb the stuff on the east side, you quickly get to really low vegetation, more shale kind of stuff. In the North Fork, it pretty much stays pretty high, thimbleberry bushes and a lot of that kind of stuff. So you spend a lot of time kind of wading through that stuff until you get really high to where it's just alpine meadows with beargrass. So that's definitely this way for quite a bit. But you end up busting out through this awesome avalanche chute, and everything just kind of pops. You're staring Boulder Peak in the face on your left, and just looking around up into the hole in the wall area, and just waterfalls. It's just fantastic, and big cliff faces, and rocky meadows, and just all kinds of really great stuff. And so then you kind of cross over little creek, and then head on up to Brown Pass Campground, and check that one out. If you're just buzzing through this year, if it's any subsequent years, I'm sure you'll still see a bunch of the downfall from the crazy avalanche that we had to go through. And that avalanche, it's really hard to capture the scope of the avalanche, and I'm really trying to show you a bunch of different shots of it. I think it's about 1/4 mile wide. It's like walking on concrete still. It's not going to melt out this year, I'm pretty sure. So I'm kind of curious how many years it's going to take for all that snow to eventually get gone. But yeah, it's just crazy how it just came down from the top of that one peak and opposite, and just blew through and ran up the side, and then I think it just kind of surfed along that ridge a little bit and dropped right into the campground. You can see some of the fallout from it in the campground. But anyways, that takes you up there, and it's really just overall really great place. A lot of people use this as a launching point for traverses to maybe go to Goat Haunt, or just to loop back around, do Hole in the Wall and come back, or go up and come out by Kinglet. So depending upon your ride situation, all that kind of stuff, there's a lot of different options and all that kind of stuff. Lots of really cool small birds. I also saw some jays and that kind of stuff. And but yeah, just really fun, full of life. There was a bear on the trail. I missed it just by a few minutes. Some other people saw it, and but definitely lots of sign. And so definitely an alive place. Very cool, full of views. So yeah, Brown Pass. We'll cover the rest of that Hole in the Wall section and all that kind of stuff when I do Goat Haunt to Kinglet.